what Nakima said, and I personally believe last night what took place in the state of Minnesota is perhaps one of the most shameful things that history will not be kind to the state. It will not be kind to the leadership on the Democratic side as well as the Republican side. After the killing of George Floyd on May 25th, 2020, the world responded to this killing, and everyone began the process of looking at possible solutions to addressing police accountability here in the United States and even abroad. What took place since then is a shame to the state, but a continuation of the legacy of this state as a state that continuously treats its most vulnerable population with the most harshest tactics and means. The state of Minnesota has the worst economic disparities, housing disparities, education disparities, and so more. And when it came to police accountability, this state does not believe in the voices of the marginalized and oppressed, but instead believes in the oppressor, the police departments and law enforcement officials across the state. Last night we saw a bill go through the House and through the Senate. That bill is a police bill. It is not a police accountability bill. Instead of holding the ground and demanding justice for George Floyd, last night this building did not honor the family of George Floyd, did not honor the family of many of the victims who have been killed by law enforcement in this state. Last night, the families of George Floyd and others who came to be in witness were denied even access to the gallery, while an officer was allowed outside of decorum to even go on the floor of the Senate. What does that tell us? That last night, the state of Minnesota chose the Derek Chauvins of the world over the George Floyds of this world.
That's right.
Last night, it was not Republicans who were denying us the ability to demand justice. It was Democrats who agreed to support a policy that only favors policing and not the community. Last night, we saw the ugly truth of Democrats. We know the history of this country, that Democrats refuse to even free black people. And that history is still hunting Democrats today, because in a moment when a man cried for a breath for nearly 9 minutes and 29 seconds, in hopes of his last breath that maybe others would find their breath in his name, in his story, in his struggle, and in his death, the state of Minnesota refused to recognize the humanity of George Floyd, the humanity of Dante Wright, the humanity of Winston Smith, the humanity of all of the victims who have been killed in the state, predominantly black, indigenous, and brown individuals. Last night is a night that will live in infamy for this state and for those who look back to recognize that this state, the North Star of this union, is nothing but a deep southern state. Unfortunately, many people yet to realize. Last night we also saw majority of the white people who say they care about black lives not show up here at the Capitol. Last night we saw many people did not even blink an eye when they heard that police accountabilities were not in the final package deal. Last night, Senator Gazelka, Senator Warren Limmer got what they wanted out of this deal. The community that has been protesting and demanding and were on the streets did not get anything. But now we ask the governor to veto, even though he has already told us he's not going to veto. He is the last stop now. And if he chooses to continue on this path, Governor Walz will be engraved in history as the governor who refused to stand up for black people, when a man died and the world moved in his honor. And the governor of this state instead moved for law enforcement and not for George Floyd. We have seen this in the past, but today we are more resolved than ever because we understand that this system, it is corrupt from this building all the way to every single jurisdiction in this state. It is corrupt because it does not see the humanity of black and brown individuals. But the days that we are silent, the days that we show up only one time are over. We will continue to fight. We will continue to demand justice. We will continue to do what is necessary for our community to realize that. Many of these legislators are going home after this week. What they don't realize is they will not be going home to their homes peacefully because we will be coming to their homes. We will be demanding justice on their front lawns. We will be making sure they understand the pain that exists in our communities. So this summer, I want people to know that we are taking our activism to the next stage, stage number 2. When we realized we worked with the system, we tried to address it within the system, but we came back with nothing. But we are not going home with nothing. We will continue to demand justice by any means necessary.